Hello everybody, back with another one of these video things I've been doing and haven't been doing consistently, but here we are. So, I am joined by a guest this time, a good friend of mine. Would you like to introduce yourself, my friend?
Hey, how's it going, y'all? My name's Jonathan as well. I've been a buddy of the other Jonathan for shit about probably closing on 2 years now. Honestly, we were fast friends when we first both got Fall 3. I hated it.
Can you fix your phone a little bit? You're breaking up.
I just did not like him when I first met him. Hey,
can you repeat that?
I don't know. I didn't like you when I first met you.
Thanks.
Yeah, and then it turned out you're a real cool cat. I don't know if you caught anything else, but yeah, we're good friends. We've been friends for like close to 2 years now. Thank you for your service.
Hoorah, Semper Fi.
Do or die.
That video, dude, I can't, like...
I love it. It's my favorite.
It blessed me when I saw that video. Just saying. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you live in the woods. I'm sorry. But anyways, so we have a couple questions we're going to ask each other. We thought these through. We kind of covered them a little bit before we started, so we knew what we were getting into. And by the way, this is like our third try doing this because one, it took us like an hour and a half to call each other on Skype, which, I mean, we're 22 and 22, and we couldn't figure it out. So here we are on our third try, 3 hours later from when we wanted to start. And it's 11 p.m. here, and it's 5 p.m. where he's at, so let's get into it.
Hell yeah.
First question I want to give to you, my friend. Jonathan, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, hold on, let me crack. Let's hear this sweet sound of American right here. First question.
Give me the first question. Shit.
Okay. Hold on real quick. Let me pick that. Okay, so first question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Since you're new into this whole like self-help, self-improvement phase that a lot of people are going through nowadays, it's really cool. I love it. When did you first identify you wanted to start improving yourself and stop blaming everything else for your misfortunes?
To answer the first question, just recently, and I didn't really cover this the first time we talked about it, but I'll go over it this time because I didn't really think about it. But just until recently, I've been told time and time again, over and over, and like I just kind of took like I heard what they said, and I'm like, all right, cool, fuck you, and then just kept doing me, right? But lately, as of late, I've been really like, for lack of better terms, I'll call it big dick energy, right? I've been like so unconfident with like, not in terms of me being me. I don't give a fuck about other people's opinions. It's just in terms of like, for an example, would be like leadership or just the things I am uncomfortable about, where I have to put myself out there to be criticized and scrutinized. I'm very unconfident with it. So as of late, there was just an event where I just figured like fuck it, you know?
Take a
like yeah.
You fucked up again.
How so?
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Say you want to know why.
I want to know why. Lay it on me, brother.
I closed the program.
How do you even do that?
I don't know. I tried to like touch the screen to fucking because there's beer on my screen. Oh, it's still recording.
Oh, you're fucking me.
It's so good. So now, someone's knocking on my damn door. What's up, man? You got any bleach? Bleach? I don't have any bleach. Yeah, sorry about that. Alright, keep on.
You should keep this as like a fucking bloopers.
No, I'm not deleting it. I'm keeping it.
Oh, are you actually going to keep this shit on still?
Yeah, I mean, entertainment.
Oh my god.
Oh, keep going. Sorry, I interrupted. Sorry for this.
Okay.
Fourth time, just tried to.
I almost said some stupid shit too. Anyways, fucking, I don't know. I've been putting myself out there. I feel uncomfortable about it. So lately, I just kept telling myself, like, you know what, big dick energy, and it's kind of been reflecting a little bit. Like, there's this book, right? The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, or The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? And I read it, and then there was some good shit on it, but I just put it as words on the page. And as of late, like, it's really, like, I kind of dawn on it sometimes where, like, not giving a fuck in general, in life in general, about anything is psychotic. But selecting to what to give a fuck about is a secret of life, right? And then as of late, I just stopped taking everything to heart. I just stopped caring. And I understand it's way easier said than done. And I've wanted to do this for a long time. But there was just a moment in my life where, like, I just didn't care anymore. Where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm tired of just feeling so uncomfortable all the time and putting myself in a position where I am uncomfortable. So why should I even fucking care anymore? And unfortunately, it took a negative event to turn it into a positive. But at the end of the day, it's still a positive trait that I want to continue to do.
I respect that. You had a question for me as well, right?
Yeah, I have a few questions for you.
Send it.
All right. Question number 1.
That looks good.
Why do you think people keep choosing to make the wrong decision when they know what's right?
Why do people keep choosing to make the wrong decision when they know it's right?
Yeah.
I think this all boils down to personal ego level. And to explain that a little bit more, people don't like changing who they are because they're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of saying, like, oh, well, you aren't the same as you were a year ago. Good. You don't want to be the same person you were a year ago. You don't want to be the same person doing the same thing every single day. You don't want to be the same person doing the same thing every single day. I said that twice. I don't know why. Because it's important. And I really do think it boils down to being egotistical, narcissistic, and not willing to accept change and going through the struggles of going through that change. Because it's hard. It really is hard to improve yourself. Because when you start to improve yourself, you have to judge yourself. And you have to look at yourself and say, like, where do I want to be in 10 years? Where do I want to be in 15 years? Where do I want to be tomorrow? You really have to dig deep, sit down, and talk to yourself. You have to look inside of yourself and be like, I don't like this about me. I want to change this. I want to be better. Who can I look at to be better? Who can I role model after? Who can be my mentor to help me? Because it's very hard, I would say almost impossible, to do this by yourself. To want to change and be better than who you are today. I'm not saying it can't be done, right? But it's much easier and much more feasible to have a partner or a mentor help you with it.
And then I agree with you, but I personally think the biggest things for changing yourself and for self-improvement, don't get me wrong, a mentor and a partner helps. 100% helps. It makes it twice as easy. I think the main thing, the main event that sets off someone's self-improvement, I see it as one of 3 things. It's either a negative event, where that negative event really put you in perspective, and really, like, and I agree with you, when you do try to change yourself, you do judge yourself, and then that's the hardest part about it, is because once you reevaluate yourself, and you see where you're not happy with, and that's where I think the negativity comes from, which is one of the triggering events. Another one is a goal. And then the third one, I'll just say it right now because I think it just coincides, they go hand in hand, is motivation. Where you can want to change yourself, yeah, but if you don't have a goal, if you don't have motivation, then all you're left with is just a negative a reevaluation about yourself. So me personally, I think those are the triggering points of self-improvement. And unfortunately in life, more likely than not, it is going to be negative. But people are so uncomfortable with seeing themselves in a negative light as of lately because I'm one to say this too because I am soft just like everyone else. And I understand some people are harder than others, right, in terms of negativity and reevaluating themselves. And I kind of lost my train of thought. But long story short, I think those are the main steps in self-improving.
Okay.
Instead of mentorship and partnering.
I like that. So next question.
All right. Yeah, I got you.
Drum roll.
Is it you or me?
You.
It's me. It's me. Because you
asked.
What? Yeah, all that work.
Send it.
So my next question is, what situation makes you stop being progressive? And you could apply that to any part of your life, as in your job. What makes you stop pursuing a promotion or an upgrade or a raise or the gym? What makes you stop going? Or whatever it may be, a relationship. What makes you stop caring enough to reach out or try to solve the problem?
Short answer to that is nothing, right? But don't get me wrong, it happens. Happened to me, will happen to everybody. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But I really think people need to start realize that nothing should stop you from pursuing what you want to pursue. There's this one author I love to read. He's my favorite author, Ryan Holiday. He has a trilogy of books. First book is Ego is the Enemy. Second book is Obstacle is the Way. And third book is Stillness is the Key. First book's my favorite by far. Favorite book I ever read. Got it tattooed on me. Hashtag fanboy, if you want to call me that. I don't care. Sue me. The second book is called The Obstacle is the Way. And I stand behind that. Because that backs behind your question to what should stop you from pursuing what you want to pursue. Right? Nothing should. That obstacle in your way, that should be the way you follow. Because as one of my good friends, Steven Johnson, one of my good mentors, you learn from the process, you don't learn from finishing the process, right? You learn most of what you need to do to self-improve, to get where you want to be, by actually going through the steps, going through the grind, waking up every day, studying, working out, improving yourself, instead of actually accomplishing that goal. I'm completely satisfied with never accomplishing my goal and continuing this process every single day of my life. 100%. I will never back down from saying that. If I never go to PA school, cool. The way that I've been improving myself, learning every single day, getting in the best shape of my life, what do I have to complain about?
Oh yeah. To answer my own question, and because we've tried this like 3 or 4 times already,
this is the 4th time.
I answered this. It's just comfortability, and I'll relate it to what you said, an obstacle. People are more comfortable not going through that obstacle and having that shitty fucking time going through it and jumping through it and going with the roller coaster of it, and people are more content and comfortable sitting there. And it is comfortable because everyone's gone through it. It's so fucking comfortable to have something, and then, like, for example, you make plans with friends, right? And then, like, obviously, like, you make the plans, and then you say you want to go, but then when shit falls through, like, there's just sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but there's sometimes where you're just like, I'm not upset about it. I'm comfortable about it. I'm content. I wouldn't say they're, like, fucking ecstatic and happy, but there are sometimes like that where I can just, instead of having to put yourself out, and not like put yourself out emotionally, just put yourself out there like shit, like I kind of want a day to myself, and you just got that availability of free time. It's comfortable. So that's where I say that's the situation that makes you stop progressing in pretty much anything.
Okay, I agree with that. You, my friend, your question.
It's you, buddy. It's
Is
question
it?
3, baby. Yes, I said what makes your situation stop
I'm an
pursuing.
idiot. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's our fourth.
I got so lost in the conversation. That was a good talk. Sorry.
Bullshit. Don't lie to me.
So with you being a new person taking this self-improvement route, starting to really get into it, which is awesome. I'm happy for you, proud of you for that. What is the next step you are going to take, and why?
Oh shit. Oh, that you changed the question up a little bit, baby.
After the fourth try, I changed the question up a little bit. Keep that in mind, folks. I read the same question 4 times.
Oh god damn it! What am I going to do next?
I hate Skype.
It's not Skype. It's your audio recording. You're lucky. You have to be PG-13 on this shit. Well, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with the audience at home, right?
Be honest, yeah.
I don't fucking have a next plan, dude. So I'm just like, unfortunately, in my life, things have like obviously I've gone through obstacles and it's shitty, but things in life have been really fucking easy for me in terms of like I know what to do, I know what has to get done, and I do it. And then from there, like I've just been riding the wave and been getting comfortable. And here's the part where like I wouldn't say I'm not content with, but here's the part where this question's tricky for me because I don't have a next step. I like you might not agree with it, but I am riding the wave because because A, I am comfortable, and B, like right now what I'm trying to focus on, for a lack of terms, is big dick energy, right? And that's what I've been focusing on. But there's no next step when it comes to a change of mentality. It's just either do it or don't. And yeah, there's baby steps you have to take. And yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, and you just have to progressively keep working on it. But I don't see it as a next step. It's just something you have to continue. It's like a discipline. You have to just keep continuing with that same type of mentality.
Good answer. I appreciate the honesty.
No, you don't, you dirty liar.
Cool. Okay. Whatever.
Okay, what about you, baby?
What's my next step? My next step. So not many people know this, and I guess this is an ego boost for me or whatever. I'm bragging about myself, but I am a published author. I do have 1 article published. I wrote it.
You have like 3 paragraphs written online in the internet somewhere. That's not an author. Like
it was published by actually a pretty well-known firefighting page. So
we can get into this.
We're not gonna argue about it, right? Okay, but I'm very proud of that article. Got good reviews, and I'm very happy about it. One of my next steps is I want to consistently do what I'm doing right now with these videos, and then also write another article with it about in the same frame of what that last article was written about, how it was worded. I really liked it, and I really want to do that again because I really enjoyed doing it, and that's what I want my next step to be. That's what my next step will be. I'm sorry.
Okay. I dig it.
Yeah. So,
alright. I guess it's me. I'll try to change up the question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Next question. Sorry.
It's you, baby.
What advice would you give to someone who wanted to start improving themselves but didn't know where to start? Since you just started, I think this would be a good question for you.
Okay. So I had this situation where, sorry, I burped. I had to do a one-on-one with a sailor. Hopes, dreams, aspirations, goals, mentors. And then one sailor said his goal is to figure out what he wants to do. And I told him I shot straight forward, and I said, I don't even know what I want to do. But having a goal is better than wandering aimlessly. So for self-improvement and what I say to someone who doesn't know where to start is start with a goal before you start with an action.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Because the reason I say that is because if you start with an action, right, you don't know what you want to do. You start going to college to be a doctor, and then you figure out, A, I don't like being a doctor. B, this is too hard. C, I wasted all my money to do this. So, and it doesn't always have to apply to doctors or anything like that, but it can apply to college where someone wants to major in something, and then they find out they don't want to do it. And instead of wasting your time and money, and then especially, some people, there's one of two things that can happen if you do that. If you want to change your major, you don't like what you're doing. It's either people stick with it because they don't know what they want to do, and then they just figured, you know what, I'm already here, let's just ride the wave. And then they're either uncontent, unhappy, or like worst case scenario, they don't have a job and all that bullshit. So that's where I told them, like, focus on figuring out a goal to walk towards, than wandering aimlessly and wasting your time and money.
Okay, so starting from looking at whenever further in life, so like the someday goal, right? You set your someday goal. You don't give it like a definitive timeline. You give it like, oh, someday I want to be this, right? Then you break it down like, okay, what do I need to do in 5 years to be where I want to be for my someday goal? Right?
Yeah.
You broke up there a little bit. You were reconnecting on Skype. That was funny. And then you can break that 5-year goal down even further by going to, what do I need to do in 1 year to be where I want to be at in 5 years to where I want to be at for my someday goal. And then break down even further, what do I need to do in 6 months to be my 1 year, 5 year, someday, then at your 3 months, so on and so forth, 1 month, 1 week, and then what do I need to do in 1 day to be where I want to be in 1 week, to where I want to be in 1 month, to 3 months, to 6 months. It's all a collateral. It's a compound effect, and that's a really good book, by the way, and you should read that. I recommend that book to you, The Compound Effect. I recommend the book to everybody. That's a great book. Really teaches you the aspects of goal setting, compounding the actions you take to lead you to a goal you want to be, or lead you to your goal. Sorry, I misspoken. And really be where you want to be at in life. And it's a really good book. I like it. Really short, too. Short read.
Alright, bud. My question now.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we ever got this far, so this is good.
No.
Make sure that it's recording right now.
Let me check. We good, baby.
Thank Jesus Christ.
Dude, it was...
Thank
this is our
Jesus.
fourth try, my friends.
No. Let me put this in perspective for them. Not fourth try where we're starting up the recording. Fourth try where we spent an hour talking to ourselves about the same question, and then we realized that Script's a dummy, and then he didn't plug in and record it, and now we have to go over the goddamn same questions again. As you can tell, I'm getting a little frustrated.
Hey, it worked out though. You really did.
It worked out. It's okay. Life moves on, right?
Life goes on. We learn from our mistakes. Won't happen next time.
Shit. Alright. So what are the characteristics or values that you place into someone that you value the most?
One of the most important things I look for in a leader, a mentor, is optimism, being charismatic, and being a servant leader. Those are my main three that I look for in a person like that.
That's not even remotely like me. I'm the complete opposite of like all those.
Listen, that doesn't mean I can't be friends with other people, right? those characteristics I look for are in the mentors that I want to be like in my life, right?
Okay, but that's not the question. It's just what do you value most people?
Like in oh, you're breaking up there, you robot. What are you saying to me? Oh boy, we gonna have to go to the fifth try right here. Alright. So, if y'all don't know, I live in Europe. He lives in Maryland. And the barracks Wi-Fi isn't that good. Shocker to everyone, right? As you could tell, he's frozen. So, oh, look at him. He's speeding through. What he's talking about. Look at him. He's waving. Hello there.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've been hearing you. You've been on this whole time.
Dude. you were like frozen, skipping around. It was funny. I enjoyed it.
The values that you want most in people.
So like as just like an everyday friend or
yeah, like it doesn't have to be like a friend. You don't have to characterize it as a mentor or a friend. It could just be as a society as a whole or a person.
I misinterpreted your question. I'm sorry. What I would look for is honesty, being straightforward. I don't want a friend that agrees with me on everything. I don't want a friend that will say yes to everything I say yes to, or a friend that says no to everything I say no to. I don't like that. I like to have friends that are different thinking, they come from different backgrounds, and they have different mindsets on the thing that I have, because I think it's very important for someone who wants to be a leader when they grow up, who wants to lead a group of people, or who wants to be an influencer, who wants to really make an impact on society, to surround himself with people that aren't like him. Because you can learn a lot more about people by being around different-minded people.
Fair enough.
What about you?
For me, so I have one straight off the top of my head that I agree with. Is a personality, right? Like it doesn't boil down to like a yes man or a no man, but it boils down to where they're an individual. Where if I see someone and they're just not the same copy and paste person as someone I see online or someone I know, and I understand you shouldn't have that expectations because everyone maybe grew up with the same values, and they can be copy and paste. They could grow up in the same town, and then they
keep
can,
talking,
especially in a small town. Huh?
I can hear you. Keep talking.
I see. But yeah, it's just a personality where, when I mean personality, it's definitely like pretend you go to boot camp, right? And you know how your drill instructors, your RDCs, they're there to make you miserable. They're getting paid for that. But they're not just robots. They can joke. They can cope and joke with you too. And then just like your boss. I understand some bosses are intimidating. They don't even talk about their personal life. They just do their job and go home. But with someone with a personality, in any way, shape, or form, it definitely makes living life a lot easier. And then another thing, and then I think this just boils down to like as a society, I think everyone wants to be honest with themselves and with each other. And being straightforward. I'm not going to ask something that I personally don't do myself because I am not straightforward. I'm straightforward to people I'm comfortable with. I'm straightforward when something needs to be done. I'm not straightforward when it's uncomfortable to me. So I shouldn't ask of others that I cannot do myself. That's why I don't stay straightforward because I am not straightforward. When the time comes and it's uncomfortable, have those talks and do whatever needs to get done. If it's uncomfortable, I am not going to be straightforward, and that's just being brutally honest, which is something I'm trying to change about myself. But yeah, off the top of my head, a personality and honesty.
Okay, I agree with that. I love honesty. No matter like if you know it's going to hurt that person's feelings, be 100% honest still. If you lie to cater to that person's feelings, you're in the wrong. 100% of the time. You should never cater to someone's feelings when you're being honest. Honesty will help change a person's mindset, will help guide someone down the right path more than you lying and beating around the bush.
Yep.
In my opinion, at least.
So your fourth question?
This is my favorite question. Because it's so you can think of anything. If you could meet and befriend 3 people who past or present, right? So today or 3,000 years ago. No. 3,000. Yeah, whatever. Who would they be and why?
Okay. I guess I have to answer that first. And first one off the top of my head would be JFK. Because, A, he's president, and he's badass, and he's kind of handsome, to be honest.
Okay.
But B, somebody you know? Like, that's kind of badass. So I definitely, and he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I mean, God knows what he did behind closed doors, you know, but, I mean, the American didn't get nuked to pieces while he was talking. Other than that, who else would I meet? I'd probably meet Jesse Boyd, most decorated Marine, just because he's a badass. Like, just want to shake his hand, say I talk to him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he also said there's no better in the business than a Navy corpsman, right?
He did. I think he loved me because I'm a lab tech.
Lab tech aren't corpsmen. Come on.
I honestly, I stopped playing media recently.
Really?
Well, like, yeah, we are, but, you know, like, are we really? Yeah, like, obviously, I said corpsman, but I learned how to take vitals on a patient, manual vital on a patient, like, last month. I learned how to read someone's pulse last month, manually. If you told me to do an IV right now, I would not know how to. I've never once had a real patient. I had a patient who needed to get their blood drawn. That's the closest I've ever gone to a patient.
Wow.
Puts it in perspective, huh?
It does. It really does.
Anyways, my last person, probably be Jeff. I love Jeff.
My dad?
Yeah, I want to meet him again.
You did meet him.
So much. I want to meet him again.
Aww.
Alright,
he's a great guy.
Love him.
Awesome dad. Your last question, what would it be, my friend?
Oh, last question. My last question, right, is, what, you're not going to answer your own question?
Meeting and befriending 3 people?
Yeah, you have to meet 3 people.
Okay. This is in no specific order, by the way. I want to put that out there.
Cool.
Marcus Aurelius. 1, because I am getting really into Stoicism right now. Philosophy is awesome. Philosophy is cool. I really love it. He seems like he never put himself above the people, even though he was a general, led the Roman Empire. Never really put himself above the people. He was for the people. Very humble person. Puts life in perspective, and I'd love to sit down and actually talk to him, but sadly we can't. I'd also love to meet Jordan Peterson. He is the author for 12 Rules of Life, which I have yet to read yet, but I've watched a couple of his videos. He's a very intelligent person. He has, correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's watching this, he has a doctorate in clinical psychology, I think it was. I'm not going to fact check myself right now because I don't want to be rude and look at my phone. But I believe it's a doctorate in clinical psychology. He's very real with people. He's very articulate with his speech. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't let emotion rule over him. He relies on facts, statistics, medicine, and science, which is something I believe in. And I really role model him, or he's my role model, and I really, really appreciate that in a person. Third person I'd want to meet. Yeah, this is a tough question.
It is tough.
I'd actually want to meet Ryan Holiday, my favorite author. I'd want to sit down and actually pick his brain a little bit more about his first book, Ego's the Enemy, and his other books too, Obstacles Away, Stillness is the Key. He has other books too, which I haven't read yet, which I will eventually. And I'd love to sit down, pick his brain about it, how he wrote them, why he wrote them, and why he decided to write it in that format that they're written, in that structure he put them in. I think that'd be very good to know, very good to learn and understand. And those would be the three people I want to meet, and why.
Okay. Last questions. Oh, God.
You're up.
Woo! Last questions. So, abstinence. And not in terms of sexual, but like of earthly goods, right? Do you believe in the abstinence of earthly goods for, like, I'm not saying like you have to be a monk and then give up all electricity, internet, blah, 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 but just in general, a period of abstinence of just anything that makes you comfortable. Like, how do you feel about it?
So you're not gonna like this answer, but yes and no, right? I'm 50-50. So, for example, going to the gym, right? I love listening to music at the gym. It's just me. But an absence against earthly things, that could be, oh, you don't need music at the gym. No, like I like it. It keeps me focused, keeps me motivated with discipline going to the gym. I like it. But I also feel it's important for people to get away from social media, the news, the internet for like a day or two, and really take in perspective of everything going on in life, and go actually speak to someone you don't know, speak to a stranger, speak to your friend, your family, and actually just talk to them, and just get away from all of this technology and the media, your friends posting online, just everything. I think it's really cleansing, it's really helpful, and it really keeps you less stressed about everything. So that's why I say yes and no to that question.
So my answer to that is, so the reason I brought it up is because David Goggins, right? I'm kind of on the David Goggins fan, the bandwagon, where he made a little post on Instagram where he's in the gym, and he's like, you want to know what, like, he's saying, like, you hear that music in the background because the gym has, like, speakers. He's like, that's music. You want to know why I don't listen to headphones, why I don't listen to anything when I'm doing my ultra marathons, or when I'm in the gym, or when I'm doing any of this shit. It's because not everywhere in your life where you're going to go is going to play a happy tune to whatever you're going through. Not everything in life is going to be comfortable. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I understand the merit of that, and I understand us building a resiliency and a dedication to whatever you're doing. But as Rich likes to say, I'm a realist, where I take everything very literal. And the way I see it is beneficial to, sometimes put yourself in check, but at the same time, how I see it is, if you do have the equipment and you do have the means of being comfortable, why would you not put yourself in a comfortable position when you have the ability to do so? Because when you're uncomfortable, you're going to wish, damn, I really wish I spent that time being comfortable when I had the chance.
And I do agree with that in a way, because no matter what, if you're in a situation where you'll be like, wow, this really sucks, like, in whatever situation you're in, I can't speak for someone else because every situation could be uncomfortable for someone. You're gonna wish you had that time where, like, I wish I would have relaxed more, I wish I would have taken more time off, but it's really hard to portray the future in what you're going to experience as uncomfortable, to really see that, like, I'm living in a good time right now where I am comfortable. But on the contrary, it's also good to train for that time where you would be uncomfortable, so you're not as uncomfortable and you can persist through it. So I can definitely see both argument sides.
I see that argument because pretend you run every day, and the way you run every day is you listen to music. Pretend your headphones break that day. Someone that's comfortable with broken headphones would be like, my headphones are broken, I'm just not going to run today. And then one day might lead to two, two might lead to four might lead to a week might lead until I buy new headphones. Oh, that just, like, I could see how you could, it's a slippery slope of being too comfortable and then just fucking yourself over.
Yeah, that's what I look at it. That's a good way to put it.
But that's it for me, Script.
That was I really appreciate you coming to talk. That was cool. It's always fun talking to you, my friend.
Of course, I love talking to you, bud.
I think next time I want to do this, I want to do it with multiple people. I think it'd be cool. There'd be a couple more good laughs, some good inside jokes between us all.
Hey, real quick, check your recording, see if you're recording right now, because I swear to God.
We're good, my friend. We're good.
Okay.
I think it'd be really cool if we got like a couple more of our friend group to come and all talk together.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and see like the viewpoint of it. And I think that way can open up a discussion between all of us and to say like, why do you look at it that way? Like, this is why I look at it. Like, can we find some common ground or whatever? I think it'd be really cool and beneficial. I think that'd be cool. I think that's what I'm gonna do next. I like that.
I agree. I like it. So who's the next guest?
I am. I'm gonna talk to Steven. I'm gonna see if he wants to come up. Answer a few questions. And then I want to talk to like Giovanni, Connor, Brianna. And
Connor, I'm letting you know right now, Connor's going to say some dicey shit, brother.
Yeah, he's probably.
Connor's going to say some popular ass opinion.
I'm probably not going to do it with him. Probably not. I think that'd be a bad idea. But anyways, yeah, we're going to end it here. If you watched it this far, if you didn't, cool. I gained a lot from this conversation. I hope you did too. And whether or not people watched it, that's not the point of doing this. It's the point of bettering each other.
You know what we should do?
What?
Is we should have like a secret, like I see this shit on YouTube all the time, right? They're like in the middle of their videos, like type the word blah 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 in the comments to let me know that you read it this far.
Yeah, like a halfway minute mark or something.
Well, we should just, we have to do it now because we're not going to edit this shit.
You don't have water? No, it's not just my room, it's the whole building.
I'll have water.
Is that your room? No, it's not just my room.
Are you going to bathe
It's
It's almost midnight.
Yes. At least my floor. At least my floor. I've heard multiple people say they don't have hot water on my floor.
I don't either. Yeah, so I'm going to end this real quick.